Would you like a step-by-step guide of how to actually buy shares on the stock market? There's a lot of financial advisors and wealth educators out there who talk about the philosophies and concepts of investing, but don't necessarily show you the process of actually doing it. And after working with business owners who have very successful businesses, we're talking high six-figure, seven-figure, eight-figure, even nine-figure businesses, it's interesting to see how many of them have never actually invested on the stock market, because it can be quite intimidating if you don't understand the overall philosophy, you don't understand the entire process. So I'm going to walk you through it step by step. Now, this video is purely educational. This is not advice. The products that I'm going to be sharing with you in this example is not advice. I want you to make sure that you do your own research or go and get professional advice before you take action. What I would like you just to do from this video is to use it as a way to understand the process behind investing in the stock market and not necessarily go and look at the products that I have used for the purpose of this example. So let's get started. Now, to overcome some of the compliance stuff, I am going to share with you a number of various platforms and also a number of various investments, because I am going to be showing some specifics, and the legal the ramifications of this, of just showing you one, means that it could be inferred advice. So when we're looking to invest in the stock market, we need to choose a trading platform, okay? And there are a number of various trading platforms out there. I'm going to share my screen now and I'm going to give you some examples. So I've just jumped onto CanStar and I've looked at their online trading comparison. This basically is an objective site that allows you to compare various financial products. Now, just be mindful of the promoted ones because they may be paying to be placed at the top. So typically what I want to look to do is to show results that basically allows you to compare. So if you're a casual, 1 trade per month. If you're active, 2 to 20 trades per month. If you're a trader, 21 trades. Or if you want to get access to international markets, you have the ability to toggle this, okay? I then have the ability to then rank by star rating and by the trade amount and by the fee per trade, okay? So I'm going to skip past the promoted ones and I'm going to show you the non-promoted ones. So we've got CMC Markets. That is the platform that I personally use. CMC has an app that's available. You can trade with live prices, meaning that the price is updated live all of the time. You can trade ETFs, or exchange traded funds, so basically listed index funds. And you can also trade the US market. It's currently rated 5 stars. It's what's called a chess sponsored. So basically the ownership model is directly through the online trading system in Australia. The minimum trade amount is $500 and each trade is $11, okay? IG Markets is probably the next the most used. The thing about IG Markets is it also allows you to get access to contracts for difference, or CFDs, or leverage trading. It is a very advanced trading strategy, not something that I advocate for beginner investors. I can do a separate video on that if you like. The minimum trade is much less, and also the value per trade is much less. Moomoo, I've never had any experience with, doesn't have live prices, allows you to invest with as little as $1, and the cost per trade is $3. And then there's Tiger and eToro. eToro is also a very popular platform. However, for some reason is rated less. So it might be worthwhile having a look at what the details are of these various platforms and the reasons why they're rated for this. But for the purpose of this example, I'm going to be sharing with you guys CMC. Okay, so the next part of this example, I'm staying on CanStar and I've opened up the ETFs, or the exchange traded fund comparison, on their website. Now, just to describe, an ETF is basically a managed fund that can be bought and sold on the stock market, which typically provides you with extra liquidity on that particular investment, and essentially allows you to have an investment that replicates the performance of a particular index. For example, you can buy the ASX 200 index or the S&P 500 index, meaning that you own all of those companies underlying in that exchange traded fund, and you will get the average of however they perform over a particular point of time. So what we've got here is basically a comparison of a variety of ETFs. We've got the beta shares, RAFI in Australia 200 ETF. It's had a 13% return in the last 12 months. Australian large companies, 15% return. Beta shares, Australia 200 ETF, 12% return, Australia equal weight 7.95%, and then the iShares Core ASX 200 ETF at 11.94. Now, previous performance is not an indicator of future performance, and also don't look at short-term performance as a means of picking a particular investment. This is just to give you a little bit of an indication of how this works. Okay, so we're going to go into the platform. As I mentioned, I use CMC Markets. I've set up a fresh account for the purposes of this demonstration. If you haven't set up an account, you go to the platform that you've chosen once you've done your comparison and picked the one that best aligns with what you're trying to achieve, and you basically open an account. You go through the share investing account and essentially go through and set it up in a particular entity. So whether it be you as an individual, that is the easiest, in a joint name with you and your partner. You can set it up in the name of a minor if you want to trade for your kids, if you've got a self-managed super fund, or you could also set it up in the name of a company or a trust. And you basically go through the process. Obviously, if you're doing it as an individual, it's relatively straightforward. If you're doing it in the name of an entity like a company or a trust, it will require you to upload trust deeds and constitutions and other things like that in order to get that set up. Go through the process. It's a little bit tedious. It's going to ask you for things like your tax file number and all of those other details. And there's usually going to be some documents that you're going to need to sign and send that back. And usually you'll get that account up and running within a couple of days, potentially to a week or two if you're setting it up in one of the more complex structures. I'm going to log into my account just so I can demonstrate you what it looks like on the inside once you've got your account set up. Okay, so I've logged into the account, and this is basically what you'll see when you log in. As you can see, it's a fresh account. There's nothing in there. So this is basically what you will see when you log in. And essentially, it's going to show you some updates of the market. It's going to show you what the Australian market has done. You can have a look at other indices and other indicators. There's other things like research, and there's news. There's a whole heap of information here. And essentially, when you log in here, it can be a little bit overwhelming. But usually what we want to do is when we get set up in a platform like this, we want to basically start creating a watch list, okay? So the first thing that we want to do is we want to go and have a look at that list of exchange traded funds, and we want to start building our watch list. So let's say that we copy this particular link and we bring this over here and we search for this. Let me just chuck it in. And we see that this BetaShares FTSE RAFI Australian 200 ETF. We can pull this up, and this will allow us to have a look at things like the chart. So we can have a look at the trading view chart, and we can see how this particular investment has performed over time. What we have the ability to do is have a look at the duration of time. So down here, we can have a look. Let's have a look at the last 5 years. Obviously, this is a long-term investment. We can see what happened in COVID, and we can see what's happened subsequently over this period of time. We've seen that it's basically reached its all-time highs over the last 5 years. And we can also just scroll out on our mouse and see for even longer periods of time. So we can see this particular fund, since it launched in 2015, it's gone from a price of $12.86 up to a price of $16.15, okay? There's a whole heap of functionality in terms of charting and things that you can do to understand the, in particular, investment better. Once again, this is a beginner video, so I just want to share what this is, just so we can get started. And we just want to overlay a couple of things so we can compare it against the other indexes. So how's it compared against the ASX All Australian 200 here over a period of time? It's just going to load that. And then we can have a look at the comparative investment over time against other particular investments. So this just allows you to get a bit of an understanding of how it's performed over different periods of time, and then you can make informed and educated decisions over that if you wish, okay? Okay, so let's say, for example, that we would like to add this to a watch list. We can create a new watch list, and we're going to call this watch list 1, let's say, and you can put as many ticker codes as you like and track these over time. And what this will show you is essentially how's it changed over time, what's the volume on a particular trading day, those kinds of things. Okay, so let's assume that we've built up a watch list. We're at a point where we'd like to trade. Let's talk about how do we get money into the account. So the thing about a trading account is that we need to actually get money physically from our bank account, our personal bank account, into the trading account. And then we need to go and place the trade. So it is a manual process. So usually what we do is whatever platform you're using, you go into account and you'll find a section called account funding. Typically, most of them have a direct deposit or a BPay option. It takes 1 to 2 days to get money in there. So once again, this is a manual process. And what we see for many people is that they might set up an automated transfer into their trading bank account, but then you've also got to have a mechanism to remember to go in and place those trades. There is a fast deposit functionality. And we're going to have a look and see if we can execute this now. So I've clicked enable on my fast deposit. And what I now have the ability to do is to use this BSB and account number in order to get funds into my trading account for the purposes of placing the trades. Let me do that now. Okay, so now we're waiting for that money to land. I'm going to walk you through the process of how we place those trades. So we go to trade, we go to buy, and what we do is we find the codes, if you know the stock code. Otherwise, you can search. And for the purposes of this, we're going to have a look at this beta shares. We're going to search. There we go, QOZ. We tick on this and we go OK, and this will populate it. Now what this will then do is this will pull up the last price. So the last price when the market closed, because currently it's 8:32, market's not open yet, it closed at $16.15. The current bid is $16.16 and the current offer is $16.15. Okay, this is basically the current volume and orders that exist. So currently there is 158 orders that's sitting at $15.82. So when we look at this, we kind of see that based on these orders, so essentially when we think about this, the share market is an auction place, okay? And it's a marketplace where people are selling and are buying. And this gives us a little bit of an indication of kind of market sentiment. So there's quite a number of buyers who are sitting at this $15.82. So it's kind of likely that before the market opens, we could expect the market to come off a little bit. So what you have the ability to do is as follows. You can place a buy order at a quantity or a value that you like. So let's say for argument's sake that you had $1,000 sitting in your trading account, okay? And what you've got the ability to do is you can execute an order at market. So whatever the market opens at, it'll essentially buy at the market price. And usually it's 3 price steps above the current best offer price at that particular point in time. You can do a limit price. So you can basically say, okay, I want to place an order. Let's say, for example, you say, okay, well, this 158 people are currently at that point at $15.82. You can list it on the market and have it as good till cancelled, or you could potentially say that it's only for that particular day, or you can say, okay, I want to leave this open for a particular number of days. And essentially, if the market falls to that point and there are sellers that match your offer price, then that order will go through, okay? That will sit there until such a time as somebody is willing to match the bid that you are making, okay? And then essentially, what you will usually do is you can set up a stop loss if you wish, which you basically say, okay, I'm automatically putting in a price that if the market falls to this particular point, it should sell my shares. Once again, this is an advanced strategy. And also you could put in a take profit that if it gets to this particular price, then it will automatically sell. I personally don't do this. I'm a long-term wealth accumulator. So when I buy investments, my aim is to continue to accumulate those investments using dollar cost averaging each and every single month. Then when you've set up your account, you'll have a trading is a unique pin to you that will basically ensure that you get that, and then you put this on the market. And that will sit there until the market is open and the price is met, okay? So that's essentially the process of buying shares. And it's a relatively straightforward process, and the reality is that when you go through this process, you set up the account, you decide to implement this strategy. Doing it once is not going to get you to financial freedom. Wealth accumulators have an investment operating system whereby they systematically allocate money to the market each and every single month, okay? And the aim of the game here is that we should be looking to build a robust, diversified portfolio that is not based on throwing darts at a dartboard. This example that I've just given you, based on a quick Google search of picking a particular fund off a CanStar article, is not good enough. Our process of how we go through this with clients is about understanding what it is that they're trying to achieve, about setting up an investment operating system that aligns with their risk tolerance and their goals and objectives, that ensures that we have appropriate asset allocation that is spread across various asset classes: the Australian market, the US market, international market, shares, property, infrastructure, private securities, and all of these types of things that ensure that we're not keeping all of our eggs in one basket, and that we have a surplus allocation strategy where we can drip feed that money into the market each and every single month, and we're not trying to speculate on what the market is doing, not trying to time the market, and that is how we work towards financial freedom over the long term. So if you've got any questions, feel free to let me know, and if there's something that you want to get some help with, feel free to jump in my bio, complete the financial performance scorecard, and let's see how we can help you get on track for creating financial freedom faster. Catch you soon.